guys, it's 21 Maxwell here and welcome to another edition of TNA Making an Impact on TEW2016. Now this is a little bit of an interesting show. It's obviously on the road to Destination X, but we're in the middle of a transition between two television deals. So we have a good deal signed with Spike TV. Unfortunately, our deal in Canada still has 4 days to run, so we don't officially start the Spike TV deal till next week. But we technically don't have a deal in America for this show. So I thought, you've got to be realistic with that. You're not going to make any big announcements on a show that's very limited access, so there'll be not as much going forward in this episode. It'll just be kind of the same kind of feuds and stuff we've been having. No real development in much of the feuds, but hyping basically next week's show because it is going to be a big one. It's obviously it's a season premiere. It's the return to Spike, so hyping up stuff like that and really not giving too much away, just really going to deliver the next week's show. So we'll kick on with it anyway. I still managed to get 18 segments and I hope you enjoy the show. So let's crack on with TNA Impact. So we've got 3,147 fans in the Hickory Point Bank in the Great Lakes region. And we start the latest episode of Impact with the newest signing to TNA, Stu Barrett. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Stu Barrett, and I'm afraid I've got some bad news, not only for you fans of TNA Impact Wrestling, but for Drew Galloway. I am here in TNA to not only make a lot of money, but also to become a world champion, and it just so happens to be that an old friend of mine holds the gold. Drew, this isn't personal, yet, but you stand in the way of what I want, and which will soon be mine. And my final piece of bad news? Well, it's really good news for me. At Destination X, it's scheduled to be Drew Galloway versus Adam Cole, but Miss Carly has just made it a triple threat match, and I'm included. I'll see you there, lads. Boom. So it's announced that not only has Stu Barrett joined the company, but he will be in that main event title match at Destination X. It's now going to be Adam Cole, Drew Galloway, and Stu Barrett for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. C65 got the show off to a strong start. The crowd were hot. It continues the championship storyline, so all positives there. Apart from the announcing team, we have Lenny Leonard, I believe his name is, Leonard maybe, would probably make more sense, signing to replace Josh Matthews, and him and Mike Tenay will start next week. So I think we'll get JB covering this week's show. Got a hype video for our main event, which will see rivals collide as EC3 and Bobby Lashley team up to take on the team of Magnus and MVP. So C60 here continues both their storylines, as that is our main event match tonight. Our opening contest then, and about had some subpar wrestling and little heat. Shibata continues his run of victories with a win over Chris Melendez in 6 minutes and 40 by pinfall. D-plus 51, very respectable. Shibata's getting better at his gimmick. The match got the crowd hotter. Melendez only with a 28 performance and a 58 performance from the Japanese superstar. So good there. Continues the run of Shibata. He's improving his performance skills. And negatives. Poor momentum for Melendez. The inconsistency of Shibata. And the low announce team. Experience. Shibata picks up the victory over Chris Melendez and decides, after his victory, that this isn't enough. So he decides to beat Chris Melendez down more and more. The referees are trying to pull him off, but to no avail. Before out comes Rockstar Spud. Shibata lets go of Chris Melendez and he backs away, leaving the ring. Well, Spud shouts, "Come on then, you want to fight?" Shibata turns round and just laughs at Rockstar Spud before heading to the back. Well, Spud checks on the fallen Chris Melendez. So Rockstar Spud coming to the rescue, you could say, of Chris Melendez as our potential feud here between Shibata and Spud. Well, this got a D-36 and it has advanced this storyline. So we'll see what happens there going forward. Next up, in a poor match, Bram defeats DJ Zimayon in 6:36 by pinfall with a curb stomp. C-53, it's pretty good. Both gentlemen not suited to their gimmicks, unfortunately. Zimayon with a 35 and a 58 in-ring performance for Bram. No skill improvements in this instance, but it's a good victory for Bram, which gives him a little bit of momentum. He then cuts a promo saying, week after week after week, I stand before you and this is all the competition I get. Carly, do us all a favour, love. Let the world know who this new signing is and my opponent at Destination X, or I'll spoil the surprise myself. He's pissed off. He knows he's got a big match coming up, but this is all the competition he's getting to warm up for that match. So C-53, usual negative there for Bram with his gimmick, which leads to Carly coming out and saying, Bram, I know how badly you want to reveal your opponent at Destination X, but if you tell the world, you will be fired and you will be sued due to a breach of your contract. So if I were you, I would keep my mouth shut. However, next week on the season premiere of Impact Wrestling, back on Spike TV, we shall reveal your opponent to the world. So Bram's opponent will be announced next week. The man he is going to face at Destination X. So D-39. Pretty decent segment again for Carly as we build her character up. Next up, and about to hit some subpar wrestling in Little Heat, the Miracle Mike Bennett defeats James Storm in 9 minutes and 23 with a box office smash. D plus 48, so that's okay. 45 for James Storm, 41 for Mike Bennett, because we need to build him up. No skill improvements in this instance, and a few negatives. Unfortunately, one of them is declining physical ability in James Storm, which I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but I don't like pushing guys that have declining physical ability. That's when I start to push them down the card. So let me know what you guys do with that, if you kind of keep them around even though they're declining, but if they've still got a good bit of overness, do you still use them in a top match? Let me know how you handle those kind of situations. Next up and about, they had some decent wrestling, but Little Heat, where Ricochet defeat Braxton Sutter in 6:54 by pinfall with a diving double knee drop. C-53, a good win for the X Division champion. Great chemistry between these two, giving a bit of momentum. Ricochet, he gets the 55, Braxton Sutter 40. He's going to be enhancement talent for the moment until we decide what to do with him. But poor momentum and chemistry motivation with the negatives here. And we basically have a segment which says, next week, Impact Wrestling has a new home. TNA Impact returns to Spike TV. So just a little hype segment there, and I can't mind who I put that on, but somehow they get an F-5 rating. So that's not good. But yeah, we're back on Spike next week, so hopefully we'll get a lot more money and a bit more exposure from our TV deal going forward. Next up and about, they had some subpar wrestling in Little Heat. The BC, Nick and Matt Jackson defeated the Bro Men, Jesse and Robbie E, in 11:36, when Nick Jackson defeated Jesse by pinfall with a 450 splash, a D plus 51 in this instance. Poor performance, I think, from Robbie E and Jesse, 33 and 29 for the ring. An impressive 54 for Nick Jackson and a 57 for Matt Jackson. Builds up a bit of momentum again for the BC's members. It shows that the Bro Men, are really here to fill out the tag division, but we will try and give them something going forward. Matt improves his performance skills. Nick improves his rumble skills. Negatives here, not as many, quite a few psychology, but Jesse's one that's going to be a long-term investment, I think. After the win for Nick and Matt Jackson, we then hear from the leader of the BC, Adam Cole, who says, what you've all witnessed is yet another statement by the BC that we run this place. This win surely earns Nick and Matt a tag team title shot. I already am the #1 contender for the TNA Heavyweight Champion, and Hardy, Barrett, if either of you get in my way, before I get to Galloway, we will deal with you. Because remember, of course, we have the whole thing where the BC attacked Jeff Hardy. He then hands over the mic to Kenny Omega, who says, also Ricochet, good victory tonight. However, champ, one day we will square off. One day it will be one-on-one. Trevor Lee, Sami Callihan, they won't be in the way. And when it's 1 versus 1, the elite shall prevail. So a good promo there, D51, again building them up and hopefully getting the elite, the BC to the next level. Next up, with the beautiful people about to take on the team of Jade and Sienna, the TNA Knockouts champion Gail Kim joins the commentary team of JB and Mike Tenay at ringside, so she's going to be a An interesting spectator for this women's match. It's a D42 for Gail Kim. And the match itself had subpar wrestling and little heat. Jade and Sienna defeated the Beautiful People in 7 minutes and 32 when Sienna defeated Velvet Sky by pinfall with a cutthroat. D46, again building up Jade and Sienna to be the future of the Knockouts division. Velvet Sky 44, Anjuna Love with a 37, Sienna with a 40 and a 46 in-ring performance for Jade, so not bad. Certainly not progressing at the same rate as my WWE save, but hopefully we can get the Knockouts over and lead to better things and better ratings in the future for them. No skill improvements is disappointing. Negatives here, not as many as anticipated. That's actually pleasing. That's pretty good. Next up, Drew Galloway is in a hype video. Basically, he returns next week and he will give his thoughts on the debut of Stu Barrett, and that is a C59. We then have a matchup which has decent wrestling but little heat, as the American Wolves defeat the Tribunal in 14:30 when Davey Richards defeats Basil Baraka, which is the former Sylvester Lefort, by pinfall with a shooting star press. In terms of in-ring work, Davey Richards was head and shoulders above everyone else. C62 is fantastic. Eddie Edwards was slowed down by his injury. Davey Richards came out of this looking good. So Eddie Edwards with a 64 in-ring rating, Richards with the 74, Baron Dax with 31, and Basil Baraka also with the 31. Eddie Edwards is improving his performance skills, and again it's making the tag team champions look really strong, although most of your negatives there are for the two Frenchmen. So again, there's someone we'll need to work on. Maybe they're not quite ready for television. Maybe they could have used a bit more development in this game. Next up, we've got a promo from EC3 ahead of our main event. He says, GB, tonight I team up with Lashley and we take on the team of Magnus and my good old friend MVP. Now I know what it takes to beat MVP, and I'm sure despite his little hiccup, Lashley knows he can beat Magnus. I think as a collective unit, we can sweep them aside just like the Cleveland Cavaliers defeated the Golden State Warriors. It's obviously EC3, massive Cavs fan. He was obviously delighted with that happening. Tonight, yet again I show that MVP and the whole TNA locker room, I should be the man, I should be the MVP, and I should be the champion. And anyone who steps in my way is in trouble. And he says to the crowd, come on then, chant along with me, trouble, trouble, trouble. So B82, great promo from EC3, control the company storyline advances, and the announcing and color commentary somehow gave this a boost. So all positives there, apart from two little negatives of the announcement quality and the control company storyline's low heat. And this leads to our main event match, which does very well, and that should ensure that we get an importance and popularity growth. And about that had some good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd. MVP and Magnus defeated the team of EC3 and Bobby Lashley, and Magnus again defeated Bobby Lashley, this time in 12:25 by pinfall with the Tormentum. So a B-74 to end the show, which is good. Lashley 66, EC3 a 76, a 66 for Magnus, and a 67 for MVP. Continues through storylines. Again, Lashley can't get the job done against Magnus, so that's going to continue this feud, knowing that Lashley just cannot beat the British superstar. So, a few improvements here. Magnus in flying, Rumble skills for EC3, and Bobby Lashley was fortunate enough to improve both his Rumble and technical skills. So, all good there. Negatives there mostly for MVP. So, pretty decent show, actually. It was one of our better ones, a B-71. It's just a shame the only places that's really going to improve our rating is going to be in Canada and the UK, since this was only shown on Bite TV and our new home in the UK, which is now Bravo. Same size as Challenge TV, it's just risk levels are a bit higher, so if we wanted to do a ladder match, I could actually do it. So I wouldn't say it was like a massive hiccup as we reached the 4th of July endgame. I wouldn't say it was a massive hiccup. It was more of a case of just we need a bigger deal, and unfortunately to have that 1 week where the transition from deal to deal happened, and it's going to be much better in the long term, I would think, hopefully, going forward. So let's have a look here. We have Chad Gable back from injury, and Kota Ibushi. It's his first match. He is in a written deal with New Japan, so we can't sign him. So we've got Tanahashi's went on loan to All Japan Pro Wrestling. Apart from that, get a lot of praise for our show, so that's good to see. And let's see, Miyayama signed a permanent deal here, so written contract, so she's here, and that's how many people saw that show. So 0.12 just because we weren't on one of our regular networks. I say I don't put it down as a mistake. I just feel like it was a decision that we had to make going forward, and hopefully we can benefit it. As I say, it's on its final deal. If I can click on it now, it doesn't look like we've got a lot of places to show the episodes and stuff, which is true, but it's the only places that are giving us deals at this moment in time. So if we focus on getting our popularity up in the UK and in America, then we can get bigger and bigger, and then we can start building up these markets. So as I say, 3 days left in the contract, so that'll be done by the time we get to the next show. Bravo, still very small in the UK and Ireland, who's counted as the British Isles in this game. That's fine, that's cool. 2-year deal there. Pro wrestling stance, that's fine. Spike TV, medium, but it covers all America and all of Canada, so that's hopefully fine. C59, we should beat that show every week so we can get better and better, and hopefully that gives us a good bit more exposure than Pop ever would have. So we've still got deals, very big in Central Europe, that's cool. Not going to see a lot of people there because it's late night and it's very big in an area that we aren't massive in, so I don't think we'll get too much there. But Challenge, we're not 3 months there, but we've been picking Bravo over them just because of the high risk levels. Fight TV's contract, they won't be getting picked up. Everything will be on the in-demand service, which is obviously a big coverage. So things are okay. $2.6 million in the bank, 3rd ranking. We need to keep continuing to build prestige and momentum. That's going to take time. But we're heading towards Destination X, which is the 3rd week of July, so another 2 weeks build. A couple of signings still to get in. I know I keep saying this every week, but people keep signing, and it's just introducing them all at different times and not congesting each other's debut. So we'll get one in next week who will be revealed. Potentially that man will debut officially in the ring at Destination X, and we may have a couple more appearing at Destination X, and then we'll finally have a roster we can keep continuing with unless WWE has someone that we can snap up. So apart from that, guys, that is it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. So hopefully back to normal in the next one with a better rating from a better TV rating anyway. So we hopefully get back on track with that. But say just a few usual questions. How do you deal with guys that are in a declining physical ability? Who do you feel Bram's opponent is going to be at Destination X? Any guesses? And apart from that, yeah, thanks as always for watching, it's deeply appreciated. Any comments regarding the series, any likes that you can leave is deeply appreciated, and I say any feedback I will get back to, whether it is on YouTube, whether it is on the Reddit post, or whether it is on the Grey Dog Software forums. And of course, you can either keep up to date with the series by either subscribing, or you can follow it on the thread on the Grey Dog Software website, or you can look up and see not only mine, but many others who will post their stuff on the Fantasy Bookers subreddit. What a talented guys they are. Check them out. I say thanks always for watching, guys. Hopefully I'll see you next time as we continue to make an impact. Bye bye.